This practice actually helps us remove anger, increasing love and compassion. So that's why it's called 37 practice Bodhisattva's practice. We are ordinary beings. Ordinary beings means we have emotions. We have anger, desire, attachment, ignorance. So due to that, we have, is hatred to others and attachment to all the object. So due to that, we are endless suffering in samsara. So this practice helps remove the attachment. Many practitioners use this text. They have become realizer and bodhisattva. So bodhisattvas means not selfish. They're not thinking about their own benefits. They're only thinking about benefit for others. So that's why that is called bodhisattva. Ordinary beings have selfish, so due to that, always thinking about our own benefits. Our own benefits is the causes of suffering. Bodhisattvas thinking about other beings, so that is the causes of happiness. That's the yesterday the verses in the verses 10. Yes. Verses 11. Verses 11. Starting verses 10, and this section is Bodhisattva's practice. Verses 1 to 10 is beginners practitioners, beginners. So beginners go to a detachment to family and friends, like home, what to say, like anything, like all causes of attachment. So the verses 1 to 9 is helps detachment. Talk about impermanent meditation. So cause and effect. We talked yesterday, and the permission. We talk about the precious human body, and so that is four mean essence is a four thought meditation. That's the verses 1 to 10. So 10 is starting talking about higher level, more practitioners. It's bodhisattvas. So that's why when your mothers who have love, verses 10, you things come without a beginning, are suffering. What is your own happiness? Therefore, to free limitless living beings, develop the artistic intention. This is the practice of bodhisattva. Bodhisattvas see all beings used to their parents, mothers, loved ones. So that's why they don't care own benefits. They don't stuck with their own happiness. So their own happiness not satisfied for them. That's why they want to have all other beings. So verses 11 is all suffering come from the wishes for your own happiness. Perfect Buddhas are born from the thought to help others. Therefore, exchange your own happiness for the suffering of others. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. This verses is very powerful. So, why we are in samsara? Samsara means cyclic existence. We don't have a choice because follow the karma, and so we are stuck in cyclic existence, samsara. Take birth again and again. That's called samsara. Where this samsara is come from? Is wishing for your own happiness. We only thinking about our own happiness, so that's why we are stuck in samsara. Then where is these Buddhas come from? Perfect Buddhas are born from the thought to help others. Buddha means wanted to happen for others. So good intention. That is cause, result is enlightenment. Selfish mind, result is samsara. So that's a very short instruction, but everything performed there, included. Therefore, exchange your own happiness for the suffering of others. This is the practice of Bodhisattva. So that's why we have to exchange our own happiness. Means we give happiness for others, taking suffering, others' suffering. But that's also very higher difficulty level, not for easy for beginners. And we have to practice first part. Then you can have this level slowly. You can practice this part. That time you are Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva means you really have a good intention. It's love, compassion arise from your heart and mind to for others. So that time then you can exchange. If you really love your mother, yeah, so you can exchange. You can give like good space for mother, and you can take other difficulty, whatever situation you can take. You can go through that. You try to, your mother is happy and joy. So that's the only we can, samsaric beings, like our limited, we can do that. But Bodhisattvas can do for every single beings for like that. They can give happiness for others. Uh, so that's why Bodhisattva is called courageous minds. Tibetan is Bodhisattva means courage person, courageous. They have a, like if they have to do something for others, they can go through whatever difficulty, suffering. They no scared, no fears. So that's why it's called Bodhisattva. Then we go to verses 12. Even if someone out of a strong desire stirs all your word, or has it stalling, dedicate to him your body, possessions, and your virtue, past, present, and future. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. So this verses 11 is also exchange. It's very hard to practice, but this verses really help you. Someone can stealing your house, your car, your money, and any object, even your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, anything that someone can stealing. So then that time, what happened in your mind? What do you thought? You're really upset, extremely suffering. So you cultivate these verses. You can release that suffering. You can that suffering transform to happiness. That's the Bodhisattva does. So how to do that? Even someone out of strong desire steal all your work as it's stolen, dedicate to him your body, possession, and your virtues. With the Bodhisattvas dedicating to them, wishing them benefit for them. If it's like someone stealing your money, then ordinary people will are really upset. It's suffering extremely, unhappy, yeah. The Bodhisattvas, someone stealing the money and everything worth is stolen, they don't upset, they dedicate for that. They're wishing they who take that, wishing them no negative karma, wishing them the benefit for them. So if you lose money, think, okay, someone stolen, you dedicate who get that money, who's stolen my money. I'm wishing them that my money benefit for them. So then your money is actually not lost, truly. Your money is become generosity. But, ordinary people don't have that kind of courage, capacity, because they're really upset and the suffering, emotion, anger arise. But Bodhisattvas, no, because they change the mindset. They're dedicating for them, everything for them. So then, whatever they lose is not really lost. They're same as a giving generosity for others. So that's also very good. When you lose something, of course, our life, always changing. You can be lose your car, you can be lose your money, you can lose anything. That time, what you have to think, you cultivate this verses, very powerful. Reduce your suffering. Your lose also become same as wasting money because you can dedicate for others. The virtuous result is future you have. You create accumulation merit. So rather than create negative or use this method, you can create positive. Do you understand? Can you do that? No easy, but you have to cultivate again and again these verses. You have to read again and again. That's really, really help you. You lose something. I have that problem many times, but I use these verses. I can let go. Yeah. So you think, oh, I'm not going to lose anything. Of course, we are in this samsara situation. So of course we can lose. Even can we lose this our own body too. So then other object is no caution, so you're not going to lose. Because everything's impermanent. So all is called compound of phenomena. It's everything is a compound of phenomena, means like create together but become one day separate. So now we are gathering here together. Of course, the time is limited. It's going to end, finish. So everything's impermanent, change. Have to this verses usually in monastery we have to memorize this whole thing, and they have to chant every morning this prayer. So that helps your whole day life become more kind of a flow, easy, and every object, every situation you can use that and taking into part or use practice. That is for this teaching. Buddha's all teaching is for life, for our the experience, life experience we need, So same, that's why Buddha's teaching is the same as medicine. We are saying it's a patience. Then so many different kind of patience. So this all different verses is a different medicine. So no, you think, oh, I'm not going to lose anything. Of course, like everything's impermanent. One day we're going to lose many things, different kind of object. That time you recognize really. This is the practice of Bodhisattva. Then you can dedicate, let go, that person's a Bodhisattva. Then your loose object is become generosity, offering, create accumulation merit. So never lost, truly, that is increasing. Otherwise, like you lose. Lose first our object, money, and anything, yeah. They upset, create emotions, you lose again, lose. So create a process of suffering again and again, more and more, strong and strong. That's why you chant this every day, these verses really help you. The verses 13, even if someone tries to cut off your head, when you haven't done the slight things wrong, out of compassion, take all his misdeeds upon yourself. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. So this is very hard, okay? No easy. First, hard to hear these words. If you used to, is okay. So that's why we have to read, cultivate, means like analytical again. They meditate. So we don't have this completely practice right now because we are beginner. This is it's 100% who has this practice completely, who can practice. That person can do this one. the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they can do. But for us, we are ordinary beings. We need only wish and read. This really helps your mind. Even if someone try to cut over your head, okay, when you haven't done slightly things wrong, usually you don't do anything wrong. Some people going to hurt you. Yeah. So then that time, usually what we do, we react again. React again. You know what? I didn't do any wrong. Why he, do me like? Why he made me difficulty? Negative, upset. So you think is you create more anger to that person. The Bodhisattvas, he, out of compassion, take all his misdeeds, means recognize that person is, usually the Bodhisattvas not act right way. They relax, meditate, cultivate. Even you don't do anything wrong, someone going to harm you. So we easily anger arise, fighting back to that person, create causes of suffering, but Bodhisattvas not. Bodhisattvas recognize that person is 100% ignorance. So emotions, due to this negative emotions control him, that's why he's going to harming me. He or she, yeah, he's harming me. And he arise compassion to that person because emotion control that person. Emotion is the same as disease. Yeah, emotion is the same as like poison. So the person is no choice. That's why they're going to, even if we don't do anything wrong, they're going to harm us. So why they harm us? Because emotion control them. So then you arise compassion to them. That's just the same. Out of compassion, take all his misdeeds, like take that person's misdeed means like person harm us, he create negative karma. We wish they don't have any negative karma. Dedicate for that person to have happiness, causes of happiness. Misdeeds up in yourself. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. And this section is the body, speech, mind. Mind is principle. Mind is power. Body speech is servant for mind. That's why intention is powerful. Long as you have good intention, then body speech is become naturally follow the mind and virtuous deeds. So you have good intention, compassion for that person, and then use that negative you create again. You generate your compassion. So if you're going to create your compassion, you're going to generate your compassion. You need some source. What is the source? Enemy is the source. Without enemies, someone not going to harm us. We cannot practice patience. We cannot practice compassion. So that's why Bodhisattvas, this kind of someone, even we don't do anything wrong, they're going to harm us. Bodhisattvas recognize they are treasure for them. Because they generate compassion, they generate participation, use that energy. So then there also arise bodhicitta, one compassion to them. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. Even if someone broadcasts all kinds of unpleasant remarks about you throughout the 3,000 words. The first one, verses 13 is someone going to harming us, yeah, even we don't do wrong. That time you read these verses, really helps your mind changed. So you don't create negative karma. So also you create positive. Use that negativity, take to the path. So that's the who can do that. That's persons for Bodhisattva. Then verses 14. Long as we are in this world in samsara, always we have this problem too. Even if someone broadcasts all kinds of unpleasant remarks about you, because someone due to jealousy, jealousy is due to emotion. Jealousy is like based on attachment. The attachment is based on the anger, I mean the ignorance. Long as they have ignorance, they have attachment, then jealousy. That's why they use this, broadcast all kinds of unpleasant remarks about you throughout the 3,000 words. So they kind of broadcast, news, saying bad words to you. So this also good thing. Someone telling you really harsh words, bad words. Someone spray out like negative words for you. Read this one. Really helps benefit you. They're not going to harm you. So this is true protection. Long as you cultivate these verses, this negativity cannot harm you. So otherwise, if someone says some bad words broken for us, really upset, extremely upset. You cannot even sleeping. You drink, eat, whatever you good things, never feel any good, like good feeling, anything. Even like this kind of like good environment. But someone telling you negative things, broken, you stuck that words in your mind. You never felt this happy and joy. That word is very powerful. That destroy your whole happiness. So then, how you can protect yourself? Use these words. The words never going to harm you. So the words someone broke the negative to you, you liberate. Never going to harm you. Even if someone broke kinds of unpleasant remark about you throughout 3,000 words, return with a loving mind. See? Our protection is love. So you use love for them, then the negative words never going to hurt you. Because this is a true protection. This protection is not only this life, like many lifetimes protection. That's why love, with a love mind, speak of his good qualities. Then we're not going to say negative to that person, say good qualities. Then reduce our jealousy, see, reduce our attachment, reduce our ignorance. So that is the source is our enemies. Enemies helping us create the causes of happiness. Enemies, someone like he treated once, they create us bodhisattva. If we wanted to become true practitioner bodhisattva, we need this kind of people. So then you use that energy, transform, and taking into the path. So then you are become more strong and strong. This negativity never affected to you. Practice of bodhisattvas. So that helps reduce our anger, reduce our jealousy. You speak of his good qualities, then that is actually create the causes of Buddha's quality. Because Buddha has so much qualities, like enlightened quality. Where they come from, they speak good words for the enemies. That's why all the enlightened qualities come from. So verses 15. Though someone may dread and speak bad words about you in a public gathering, we get that situation. So if long as you do something good, some people get jealousy, they're going to speak bad words to you. If you know important, you're not going to do anything like something good, then maybe you don't hear much. But you are something become more important person, you benefit someone, then you're going to hear these words. Because due to others' jealousy. So everyone has emotions. The emotion, that's why they're saying bad words to us. We also say bad words to others because due to our emotions. And that's why we're hearing the bad words from others. That's why we're saying bad words for others. Someone telling you bad words, speak bad words about you in public gathering. So what you have to think? Looking on him as spiritual teacher, bow to him with respect. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. It's very, very powerful. Usually, our suffering is 50% is come from the words. You know, hearing the words, you grasping fixation to the words, then you know upset and unhappy. So you hear something, you fixation to the words. We say grasping fixation to the words. Bodhisattvas no stuck with the words, no fixation, no grasping to the words. Their hearing song is mantra. The hearing song is actually emptiness. When they hear the song like this kind of better words, then no for them no grasping, so for them no exist the words, the liberate the kind of negative words. And here this Bodhisattvas, when they hear these words, who say that they bow down to that person, respect that person's sense spiritual teacher. So it's very hard for ordinary beings, yeah. But you can hear the bad words from others. So that time, what are you going to do? You going to also say back to more harsh, more bad, maybe twice the more strong than what you get. Then that person also tell you twice more bad thing again. So 10% more strong. Then you're going to make to 20% more strong. That person going to reply back you 50% strong. Then create the cause of suffering, fighting. So you lose your happiness, they lose their own happiness. No one has happiness. And everyone loses peace. So when you hear the bad words from others, good thing is if you know fixation to the words. So you think the world is just empty, not exist. Try to liberate. Or you read these verses, cultivate the compassion. You know that person is due to jealousy, attachment, ignorance, all these emotions. That's why saying because it's controlled by emotion. So same is like someone mental problem, you know. The mental problem people can who has mental problem they can do something negative things because their mind is incorrect. So you can love to that person and you can love compassion for them, respect for this is the practice of Bodhisattva. So now verses 16. Verses 16 is even if a person for whom you have cared like your own child regards you as an enemy, cherish him especially like a mother does her child who is stricken with sickness. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. Even if a person for whom you have cared like your own child, that's also we can get this kind of situation. You really care someone, you love, you take care of them, you benefit them, but one day they're going to harm you. So you can recognize, then that time what are you going to think? So you're really upset, extremely upset. Due to that, you are anger. You know, then you're going to fight. So you lose whatever you benefited that person is all gone. Become your enemy. Friend is become enemy. Loved ones become enemy. So you don't want to do that. You have to read these verses, cultivate these verses, transform everything. So then what you have to think, cherish him, especially like a mother does her child who is stricken with sickness. Mother love child, some child has some disease, sickness, kind of a handicap problems. The mother really take care of them because due to the child's capacity and they cannot take care of their own, and due to their handicap problems, the mother really try to help their kids. So mother knows the child is handicapped. So same thing, you have to cultivate, oh, this person is really handicapped. Yeah, mental problem, suffering, and no coming back to them. So cultivate love, compassion to that person. Same is child who is sick, stricken with the sickness. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. So change whole situation become. Then that person, if your friend, is still friend. If your loved ones, still your loved ones. But then you love through that, and you use this method that that helps benefit that person again. That you can change to that person. So that's why this verses is always verses is powerful and a protection, the true protection. Who can use this method? That person is called bodhisattva. Bodhisattva means courage person. Their emotions, problems, sufferings never affected to them. They never lose their happiness because they use this method practice. And this many Tibetan masters use this method. They never lost happiness. Like they wherever their situation difficulty, but their mind is always peace, joy, happy. You can see His Holiness Dalai Lama. He always laughing, right? Yeah, he is happy, and he's joy, and he's healthy. Where they come from? Practice this one. Otherwise, see, communist talk all country and talk everything is become, refuge, and so much difficult problem dealing with that. Can be easily mental problem. You know, the but suffering never affected his mind. Problem never affected to his mind. So they use this protection. There's many masters have this protection. They never lost their happiness. So you can get this kind, situations. That time you cultivate these verses, really help you. It's really powerful. This is our protection, true protection. You can take refuge to this 37 practice Bodhisattva. So then this take you to enlightenment, free from samsara. If we wanted to free from samsara, you have to use this method. So if you wanted to be samsara, then we just follow. Same is like our life so far. What we've been, our life, we just follow again same that direction. Then we're going to go to continue samsara again. That's why we have to use this verses and method, go to totally different directions. You can't do like your life is just like your business, your family. You can take care of that. Same is your jobs. They all. You can take care same as like you can have that same as before, but use this method, you can totally change the different ways. Your mind is more flexible, more happy, joy, and you can more joy with your families. You can joy more with your co-workers and your jobs. Use this method. So that's why this is very powerful, our protection. Most people don't know because due to ignorance. We really need this one, this practice. Then verses 17. If an equal or inferior person disparages you out of pride, please him as you would your spiritual teacher with respect on the crown of your head. This is the practice of Bodhisattva. This verses is a little bit slightly different because due to different situations. But main point is generate love and compassion for enemies and practice patience. So that's the main essence. If an equal or inferior person disparages you out of pride, So someone like lower than you means education and your possession and your wealthy, everything is lower than you. But that person, due to the emotion pride, is trying to put you down. So use this method. Place him as your word, your spiritual teacher. Respect to that person with respect on the crown of your head. This is the practice of Bodhisattva. So you really subdue your ego, anger, emotions. So actually you don't lose anything, but this person helps you reduce your anger, reduce your jealousy. If that person creates, we are special. If someone, equal or inferior person, that due to jealousy, they try to push us down, then we don't accept that. Not easy to accept that. Why he going to do me? Because he's nothing for comparing to me. Usually we think, so I am more powerful than him. I have more, everything's better than him. Why he going to, push me down? He thinks so, he's so important, he or she, yeah? So then due to that, competition, jealousy, anger, create negative karma. So you use loving kindness and compassion, reduce our anger, ego, then that person never going to affect you. Uh, so then verses 18, though you lack what you need and are constantly disparaged, afflicted by dangerous sickness and spirits, without discouragement, take on the misdeeds and the pain of all living beings. This is the practice of Bodhisattva. Mm. So though you lack what you need and are constantly disparaged. Okay, so sometimes you get obstacles again and again. First, maybe like kind of suffering, something, maybe you lose job, sometimes something happening, you can be lose your family, sometimes you can lose maybe your house, you can be lose your car, many bad things happen. That's always happening many people, this situation. So it's everything's not stable, because it's dependent on many things. You lose once, that affected so many things. Become you lose, suffering. So that kind of happen. What do you have to think? So you like what you need, and this constantly disparaged, affected by dangerous, then you can get sickness, and spirits without discouragement. Sometimes like some negative beings affected to you. Sometimes enemies affected to us. So many situations affected to you, difficult to happen. Then that time you cultivate these verses. Sickness, spirits, without discouragement, take on the misdeeds and the pain of all living beings. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas use that kind of energy, suffering, taking into the path. So when they get sick, get suffering, then they meditate all the beings, sickness, suffering. I'm the representative for all the beings, sickness, suffering. So the Bodhisattvas, when they get this kind of suffering, that's recognized. All my negative karma is exhausting. I am, burning, purifying my negative karma. I wish this my suffering representing all other beings' negative karma. So they become more courageous. They never lost their courage. Like they never lost how to say the this suffering affected their mind. Their loss. Oh no, I'm not going to do practice. I cannot do. They never die. Rinpoche never die. The suffering never going to kill them. So the suffering, they use that suffering and take their own energy, take transform, take into the path. So in these verses, you get suffering and the suffering. Then that time you have to read these verses, cultivate these verses. It's very powerful. Then your sickness, suffering, difficulty, whatever situation is become, it's causes of happiness. That is purifying karma. If you can use right way, right direction. If you really cultivate correctly. So we say usually the high realizers, the poison is can create the nectars, and alcohol is transformed to the nectars, something special, long life substantial. So they can transform negativity. These verses can transform suffering, take to the happiness, causes of happiness. Then next one, verses 19. Though you become famous, and many bow to you, and you gain rich, equal to Vishwavanas. See what worldly fortune is without essence, and be incomplete. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. So sometimes, you're not suffering in samsara. You are famous, you get really powerful. So though you become famous, and many bow to you, many people respect to you, everyone rely on to you, and you gain riches equal to Vaishavanas, means like kind of richest person can be in the city, can be in the town, can be in the country, can be in the world. So you can be most powerful people can be in the world, or maybe powerful people in the local community. You can be powerful person in the city. You can be powerful person in the state. You can powerful person in the country. So also like you can powerful in your family, or other families depending you related to you. You can be most powerful in your family. So this is all dependent our situation. Then we have to use this verses. See what worldly fortune is without essence. Cannot get pride, ego. So everything is impermanent. It's in this samsara worldly. You really investigate, look really closely. Nothing truly essence, anything good in there. So worldly fortune is without essence. No any essence, something really truly permanent happiness. There is no exist there. No permanent happiness there. Everything's interdependent, everything's impermanent. So our wealth also impermanent. Our power also impermanent. So our this like young and healthy also impermanent. This environment also impermanent. Everything's impermanent. So you recognize everything's impermanent. Reduce ego. Be more grown. Don't too much ego and pride. So that's the fortune without essence. In the samsara, not really truly anything have permanent, inherently exist happiness. And be unconsulted, this is the practice of Bodhisattvas. So Bodhisattvas use this, power, material gains, benefit for others. More kindness, more love, more generosity for others. Not create ego. So ordinary beings, then you get some power, get ego. You get more power, you get more ego. So you get more material, wealthy, you more attachment, more desire. So then that is become causes of suffering. Never ever satisfy human beings because due to our ignorance attachment. Verses 20. while the enemies of your own anger is not subdued, though you conquer external force, they will only increase. Therefore, with the malita of love and compassion, subdue your own mind. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. While the enemy of your own anger is not subdued, means truly enemy is our anger. If we don't subdue our own anger, then you subdued, conquer external force, enemies, they will only increase. You never finish. So you never ever can conquer all beings. If you try to subdue one enemy, two enemies come. You subdue two enemies, four enemies arise. You subdue four enemies, double enemies arise. You subdue 8, then 20 subdued, 100 comes. So then your whole life is subduing enemies, fighting with that. You don't have joy, happy, anything in your life. It's all gone. So then what do we have to do? If someone going to harm you, don't try to subdue that person, yeah? Subdue our anger. So long as we subdue our own anger, the same is like you subdue all enemies. So you subdue your own anger, you don't have enemies. The enemies don't exist. So that's why true enemy is our own anger. Because anger arises, that take our happiness, that destroy our peace and happy. When anger arises, then you don't have happy and joy. So anger is a negative feeling, Love, compassion is positive feeling. Love, compassion arises, no anger exists. Anger arises, no love, no compassion in your mind. So you want a positive feeling or you want a negative feeling? We don't want a negative feeling, right? Because negative feeling destroy our happiness. What do we want? We want happy, peace, joy. Then what is the causes is? Causes is love and compassion. Love, compassion arises in our mind. Then you subdue anger, and naturally you are happy and joy. So long as you have love and compassion, other people also then love you, respect to you. So only love, compassion can subdue our anger. So anger is our true enemies. Enemy is not the outer external. You focus outer external object, enemy, never finish, never end. That's why we have to meditate, cultivate love and compassion. It's powerful through our protection. So then love, compassion can subdue our crazy mind, negative mind, transform to spiritual mind, positive mind. So that's why it's one of the Shantideva, is a very famous teacher, Buddhist. So what he says, you have to subdue your own anger, own mind. Then same as you subdue all the enemies. Example is, you put in the shoes, your feet. Wherever you go, you don't have problem. So otherwise, if you don't put the shoes in your feet, you try to put a carpet in the ground, on your walking path. So never ever finished. Never can done that. Never solve problem. Because you cannot get a carpet, something cover all this earth. So you cannot subdue all your enemies, external enemies. It's endless. If you try to subdue it, one subdue comes more. They how to subdue all these enemies. This reduce anger, subdue our own anger. And same is put shoes. your feet. Then you don't have to put carpets on the ground. So long as you have shoes, then you can walk everywhere, no problem. So long as you have love and compassion in your mind, then everyone is your loved ones. You don't have enemies. Make sense or no? So you want to try to put the carpets or the ground, or you want to put shoes? Shoes is easy, right? Yeah. So put the shoes in your feet. Subdue your anger. Your mind's anger subdued. No try to subdue your enemies or ultra level. It's never finish, never end. That's the Bodhisattva's practice. So why only increase? Therefore, with the knowledge of love and the compassion, subdue your own mind. This is the practice of Bodhisattva. We have to use the love, compassion. Then this love, compassion can subdue our anger. So that's love, compassion is our protection, true protection. Someone going to harm you, hurt you, that time, cultivate these verses. So change your life. One verses can change your life. One negativity destroy your life. Because if you think about one anger arise, you create one enemy. Due to that, you stuck that your whole life. Could be due to that become more problems, and then can be go to stuck in the jail, can be lose your life. So can be always like your that stuck with that kind of situation, difficulty, always dealing with that situation. Your whole life is become miserable. So that's why you use this your own protection. Then long as you use this in protection in this life, then that protecting in the pardo, when you die. Pardo is called intermediate states. And we die until take rebirth the next life. So that between is called pardo. There's love, compassion, protected in the pardo. Otherwise, when you die, you have enemies, angers, like when you die, in the pardo, you have so many enemies because all is your perception. So strong, everyone's your enemy in the pardo. Then due to that, you are suffering, extremely suffering. It's a delusion, but you don't recognize it's a delusion. Extremely suffering. Then you take birth, where you going to take birth? Could it be due to anger? That suffering go to lower realms. Even cannot get human being's body too. So that's why this kind of negative karma take you, destroy, suffering, this life, future life. And this kind of one verses change your life, this life, protect you in this life, protect you in Bardo, protect you in the future lives. That's why this is the true protection. Because we have ignorance, we don't know which is true protection. We only thinking about this like short temporary moments. We don't see far away, we see only very close. That's why we using method is always wrong. If someone going to hurt you, harm you, then you think I can subdue that person. So you try to subdue, you show more power. That is some samsaric beings do worldly, but they create a causes of suffering. So you use your own power 20%, the other one also going to show 30% their own power. Then you show your own power 50%, they're going to show 100% their own power. Due to that, they both are stuck suffering or miserable life. Use this method to change life. This is a true protection. So we finish that today. Time is gone. It's impermanent. So then we're going to continue tomorrow. Thank you everyone coming for the teaching. Thanks very much. Thank you, John people.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Question? Yes. So 3 minutes within questions, and I'll do the further dedication. Sonam de damje zibani, donani be dana banze, jiga namje balon chuba ye zipen zolen joa joa rejo, sanjo sanjo rambo. Maji pana jijero je jipa nyamba me ba yang koni gwangde be va rejo. Shiza gunze kunjin juje je temper ne la wando de gong ba renje barje temba zenge shijo de zang gong be zing jo je. Thank you everyone. Thank you. Yes, so next we can ask question. Yes. Get done means practice, cultivate. So Buddhists memorize this 37 verses. If you cannot memorize the whole thing, which one you need? Pick up that verses. Read again, cultivate, and that's really help you. So also in this one included at least solution. In the worldly samsara, you have different kinds of suffering affected to you. So that time you read this one, you can find something solution from this book. If you want to go to more longer, the teaching is called Way of Bodhisattva. It's more longer than this. So then you find something solution. We have to cultivate, practice, read again. Otherwise you forget. So this book is for your study subject. Now you have this one, you can read, cultivate. Okay, thank you all. So no questions here today. Okay.
I have one.
Take to the beach. No time.
Oh.
Thank you.
No time now. Okay.
Bye. Hello, everyone.
Bye. Nice.
Good. Thanks, everyone.
Heather has a question, Khenpo.
I had a quick question for you. Technically, a bodhisattva cannot take the karma on of other people, correct? Or did he go? Is he gone?
Yeah, he said no time. I guess or the internet dropped. It could have been.
Okay.
I think
I've got this before, but maybe you guys know the answer.
I think that the internet probably dropped because it's not so stable there, and he was moving around a lot.
It was really windy. It's been hard for me to hear him the last 2 days. I've been like trying to hear. I'm like, oh, yeah. It's been good though.
Yeah.
Yeah.